we're going to take a look at an if statement. So go ahead and jump to your resource pack directory, and we're going to open up the second folder, which is called logic and functions. And we're going to open up the first step, which is test.php logic if statement.step. Go ahead and copy this code and paste it over the code that's currently in your test.php file and save it. Let me first briefly explain what the script is supposed to do. The idea is that we're starting out with a variable, and that variable can have the value of good or it can have the value of bad. And depending on which of the values that variable is, will display something different in the browser. So our first step is defining that variable, and we're calling it peach because we're talking about whether a peach is good or bad. For now, we're assigning it the value of good. Next, we're checking to see if the peach equals good. And if so, we're going to print this peach is very good to the browser. If, however, the peach equals bad, then we're going to print this peach is lame to the browser. Now let's go ahead and demonstrate this in the browser really quick. Let's save the file and jump to the browser and refresh. And it says this peach is very good. If we jump back to our script and we change this good to bad and we save it and jump back to the browser and refresh, it will say this peach is lame. Okay, let's go ahead and jump back to the code. Now we're using a simple if statement for this. The idea of an if statement is it's a logical check to see whether something is true or not. So in this case, what we're doing is checking to see if peach equals good. Now notice that we're using two equal signs here. That's because, as you've seen in previous examples and up here, a single equal sign will assign the value from the right side to the variable on the left side. So if we use this single equal sign right here, what this would say is peach is good. It wouldn't be asking the question, is it good? It would be making the statement, the peach is good. So from this point forward, this variable would equal good. Instead, what we want to do is make a comparison. We want to check to see if peach is the same as good. And we do that by using two equal signs instead of one. This is something called an operator, and you'll see additional operators used as we move through some of these examples. So this is the condition that we're checking right here. And this will return true or false, which are Boolean values. If it returns true, then the code that exists between this initial bracket and this closing bracket will execute. Otherwise, it will get skipped. So the structure here is if, and then there's an opening parenthesis. Notice that we have a space here, which isn't necessary, but it's a way to more easily read this code. And then inside of the brackets, we have the condition, or, as we'll see in future videos, multiple conditions that we want to check. And then we have an opening bracket and a closing bracket that surrounds the code that should execute if this checks out to be true. So right now, the value of peach is bad. So this code right here won't execute and we won't see anything on the screen. But the PHP will continue processing on down this script, and it will come to this next if statement, and it will check to see if peach equals bad. This will return true, which will trigger all of the code inside of these brackets to run, which will print to the screen, this peach is lame.